Boom! The gear just got here. David Goggins, you are the man. Thank you so much for giving me that final push in changing my life. I just finished the 4x4x48 challenge, and there is nothing like putting yourself through physical torture to get some mental clarity on life. Today's March 25th. It's a special day to me. Because 20 years ago today, I was arrested on 2 counts of armed robbery. I was a spoiled kid. I grew up in South Florida and super privileged. My father was a badass in the Navy. My dad was a captain and was a brilliant man. His dad died when he was 10 years old. And at the funeral, he was crying, and his uncle looked at him and said, "What are you crying for, kid? It's time to grow up." And in 1951, my father, without a father of his own, grew up. And he dodged so many bullets. Going through the 60s, he was on a military track, and then MIT called, and my dad went to MIT, and he has an engineering brain, and my father did not have to deal with the drugs of the 60s, which it's kind of funny. You talk to an old person today and they'll talk about the 60s like it was this crazy party. Well, I got news for you guys. The 60s ain't got nothing on the 90s. Because I was in South Florida in the 90s. I graduated barely in 1993. So when all these crazy drugs were starting to come out, when crack hit the suburbs, when heroin and ecstasy and all these real crazy drugs, meth, oh my gosh. That coupled with the fact that my parents gave me the privileged life, and so they sent me to private school, which is, that's a risky thing, you know. They say send your kids to the most expensive school because the contacts they'll make. Well, you know, that's true, but I tell you what, those rich kids know how to party. And if you know how to hustle, like I knew how to hustle, then you can really get yourself into some trouble. So drugs became a major part of my life. And it was a result of my upbringing thinking that my stuff didn't stink. You know, I didn't have a superhero. My dad was my superhero. He had bars on his shoulders, and everybody called him boss. Wherever he went, it was like, damn, my dad is the man. And, you know, I struggled with, could I live up to that? A lot of motivational speakers today had these horrible upbringings, horrible lives. One of my favorites, Les Brown, was born in an abandoned building. Him and his twin brother were adopted by who he calls his mother, and at 6 weeks old, and this lady adopted 7 kids. And you know, grew up in Liberty City. That is a story, I tell you, that just touches your heart. You know, you can be inspired by somebody that was born in an abandoned building and was told they were stupid and unteachable, and become a powerhouse that changes millions of lives. That, you know, you can really get behind that. So why a spoiled brat that got arrested for armed robbery at 26 after 8 years of just getting away with murder? I mean, I didn't get caught for shit. I conned so much. I remember my favorite part of high school, my best con was I'd gotten in trouble for something. They found me with some pot, and they sent me to the principal's office. And they didn't want to put me in in-school suspension because I had too much fun. I entertained all the other kids. So they put me in a desk outside the dean's office in the hallway. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, it's 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, I got 6 hours to just sit here. This sucks. I need to get out. So I snuck into the dean's office and called the school. Yes, hello. This is Ray Peterson. I live next door to the Fushes, and I need to speak to one of your students. There's an emergency situation. Who's the student? His name is Brian Fush. I'm his next door neighbor, and the fire department is here. They can't get in touch with his parents. And Ms. Nichols, I got you, because she'll remember. I hope she remembers. God, I hope I can find this lady to validate this. But she put that phone on hold, and I ran out, sat in that desk. And she came back, and she said, Brian, who are your neighbors? I looked at her, I said, the Workhousers and the Petersons. There's a Ray Peterson on the phone for you. Come up to the office. Okay, so I walk up to the office. Yes, hello. Hey, Mr. Peterson. What? Well, yeah, no, my he's in Miami. Yeah, oh my gosh. Miss Nichols, I gotta go. Bam! Didn't even have to get parental permission. And that's kind of what life is like if you grow up white and rich. And, I use that to let me be let down when I couldn't do superhuman things. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL so bad. 19, and I find out I'm colorblind. That's not something you can cheat on. I learned how to cheat my way through life. And, you can't cheat a colorblind test. So my dreams at 19 years old of being a Navy SEAL, my dreams of being a fighter pilot when my vision was too bad, and I was told that, sorry kid, you need perfect vision to be a fighter pilot. So I can't be a badass like my dad. So let me go and figure out what's up with this drug world. And I can remember at 19 making the clear decision. My buddy at the time warned me. He said, once you cross that line, you'll never come back. And he was right to an extent. He was right in the sense that your eyes will be open to a whole new world of dealing with more pressures, some really serious pressures. If you've never done drugs, the example I give to people, if you want to know how bad it is, women abandon their children for drugs. So, there's no stronger pull. My mother would walk through fire for me. My mother, when I was a kid, I was 6, I got bit by a scorpion at an Afghan. And my mom, who's scared of bugs, she will jump. I just started screaming, and she put her hand up my pant legs and grabbed the scorpion and got it out of my pants. And, that is the purest form of mother love. She didn't give a damn about that scorpion. She was getting, and there are women out there, that's built in. But women that have children, most of y'all, that's built in. You would never dream of doing something. But that's how strong drugs are. It's how powerful these drugs are, that you try once and you are hooked for life. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be for life. You can come back. You can, once you're bit, you are not bit for life. You're scarred for life 100%, but it doesn't have to control you. And it's a brutal path back, I'm not going to lie. It takes some David Goggins shit to get back. And it's got to be 100% focus. And for me, for the Early Morning Fitness Club, it means that as soon as I wake up, priority number 1 has to be exhaust my body. I need to go out. I need to run. I need to bike. I need to swim. I need to do something exhausting, because I'm pretty much an idiot for the first 30 minutes of laziness in the day. And if you don't go tackle something, if you don't start working out, if you don't push your body to its physical extremes, then you stretch that 30 minutes of lazy out throughout the entire day. You can be just, so I call myself a survivor of the 90s, because the 90s, old guys now, they'll tell you about the 60s. They talk about the 60s. Man, the 60s were crazy. I'm like, man, y'all ain't got nothing on the 90s. I mean, I was in high school. I think my entire high school class tried pot. I can remember one of the wealthier students, his dad was a doctor. He's a doctor now. This guy had a freaking drawbridge for his front door. And they had parties, and it was crazy. The nerds in the school had these huge parties. And, I felt like it was my job to really do those parties right. There's a song that talks about the summer of 1969. He says, you know, the best years of his life. And that dude messed me up. I tell you, I don't know if I think it's Johnny Cougar Mellencamp, man. Summer of 69, that song got in my head. You know, that song taught me that, you know, high school years are the best years of your life. And that's bullshit, man. You freaking lied to me. I felt like I had to party. I had to do the crazy stuff because this dude's singing songs about how in 1969, I remember it was 1989, I was 15 years old. And I was like, yo, I'm here for the party. And my father, he was a Navy guy. He missed the party. You know, my parents are a combination of June and Ward Cleaver and Billy and Ruth Graham. You know, they've been together now 64 years. They're what you think about when you think happy, Christian, conservative family. Good morals. They're both teachers, great people. And, you know, they missed the party. And they told me, I can remember, marijuana is the devil. Marijuana is horrible. Cocaine is bad. Heroin, you can't do any of this stuff. You know, and then as I started to get older and I started to see what was going on in the society, I started to say, hey, man, this pot over here, it really doesn't look that bad. Maybe I'll try it. And here's what happened is I found out that it wasn't nearly as bad as alcohol. It, you know, it got me, you know, it kind of pumped me up. Sure, the movies were funnier. I ate a bunch of junk food and got a little carried away. But, you know, this marijuana is the devil, you know, that was like, man, these people are lying. And, you know, once people start lying and telling you stuff that's not real, you question everything. So I started thinking, hey, maybe coke and heroin ain't that bad. Turns out they were right about the coke and heroin. But the freaking, you know, once you start, close that please. Hi, good morning. There's my son. He's 6 years old. And thank God I didn't go through this drama when he was alive. You know, my prison days, they're long ago. You know, I got arrested, 2 counts, armed robbery 20 years ago today. And I ended up screwing up twice. You know, I had to make every mistake twice. The hard way. I learned the hard way. And fatherhood is the best thing ever. And I had a great father, and I want to be a great father, and I want to encourage.
He is a great father.
Thank you. So I want to encourage people, if you're at rock bottom in life, I don't care if you're in prison, I don't care if you're a crackhead on the streets, I don't care if you're a junkie, I don't care if you're a drunk, I don't care if the whole world has given up on you. I'm here to tell you, if you're alive, then you can come back. It's not easy. You got to give it everything you got, but you can come back. If I can come back from being broke, busted, disgusted, can't be trusted, then you can come back. My mom doesn't hide her purse for me anymore. It took so long for that to happen. But you know what? I know that people out there that have been through hell, guys that have been in prison for a long time, a lot of society doesn't want to give you a shot. But you know what? That's a mistake, because there's nothing stronger than a man that's rebuilt himself. And I tell you what, you better watch out for those that have never been caught. Because under the radar, that's where the best criminals are. Y'all think the criminals are all detected? The best ones ain't never been caught. But guys that have been through crap, guys that have been living on the streets, guys that have had these hard knock stories, guys that have been in prison, you give them a shot, because I tell you what, some of those guys are the best fish out there. Those will be the best catches. And, you know, life is not easy. It takes a village. So I'll be here early morning fitness club. I want you to join me. And you'll have a great day. God bless. Whew. Hey.